Hey guys, it's Aaron the Ho from Mobile Reviews 8.ca, and today we're going to do a review of the HitCase Pro for the iPhone 6. I'm excited to do this review because I love this case, and these types of accessories is probably the number one reason why I think that iPhones are better than Androids, because you can just do so much more with your iPhones with these types of accessories. This is a tough iPhone case that is shockproof up to 6.6 feet and waterproof up to 33 feet. It offers average access to your iPhone if you need it, but I wouldn't go and use this case on a day-to-day basis. The lens on the HitCase Pro is absolutely awesome, and the entire setup is compatible with other GoPro accessories, which means that you can take your iPhone even further. Now, based on my time with just a case, I've given it a score of 3.4 A's out of 5. This is actually one of the lowest scores that we've actually given, and it doesn't match the excitement I have for this product. Now, nowhere in my scoring system do I have a section for making your iPhone really, really awesome. So for the scoring system, I'm going to give it a pseudo mark. This is closer to 5 than it is to 3. I'm a big fan of this case, and I'm going to tell you why. If you'd rather read the rest of this review, find it on my website. If you're looking to compare other waterproof cases, you can find all the waterproof cases that I've reviewed on my webpage through the comparison tool as well. Links are in the I or in the description section below.
Real usage, real reviews. Mobile Reviews 8.ca.
At Mobile Reviews 8.ca, we base our reviews on actual usage. So with the HitCase Pro, which is meant to put your iPhone in places where it's not meant to be put in, we've put our iPhone in places that it's not supposed to be in. Now, I'm not a terribly extreme person. The most extreme thing that I've done in my entire life is eat an entire Big Mac in one bite. But for this review, I've mounted my $1,000 iPhone on top of my car in the rain, in my car, right behind the wheel well on my car, on my chest while riding my bike, on a stick while I rode my bike while going to work with Monty in my bike, on a tent pole at my sister's wedding, actually on Monty. He did not like that at all. Now, I've done all that just to really show you how versatile this product really is. Now, I know some of you might be thinking that putting it on a dog, it's not a good indication of how awesome it really is. I put it on a dog. Where else do you think you can put it? This review is going to be a tad longer than my other ones because on top of just talking about the case, I want to talk about how I've been able to mount it using my Joby GorillaPods, as well as my GoPro accessories, as well as the HitCase accessories that I do have. So let's get started. In terms of design, there's no doubt about it. This is a big, big case. There's nothing tiny about it, especially if you get the super wide angle lens. Trying to keep this in your pants is going to be difficult, but why would you, as it's so big? And the blue lens cap is a bit of a conversation starter. Between the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 6 versions of the HitCase, I actually like the design of the 5, as the installation on the 6 is a little tougher to do. The latches on the corner are quite small, but they do get a little easier over time, and unlocking the case requires you to either use a coin, I use a spoon, there's a HitCase little opener thing that helps you open the case, and it kind of scratches it a little bit. The lens on the case is removable, which is nice. The HitCase version for the 5 was an older one, so the lens was attached, so if you scratch it, you have to send it into HitCase to have it replaced. So being able to replace your lens without sending the entire case is actually quite nice. Good upgrade, HitCase. In terms of protection, the HitCase Pro for the iPhone 6, like its predecessor, is drop rated to 6.6 feet and waterproof up to 33 feet. Currently, this is the king of waterproof iPhone 6 cases, as the next closest thing is the Catalyst waterproof at 16 feet. Now, for drop protection, I haven't dropped it yet, and I know you guys might be disappointed, but I am planning on taking my iPhone 6 in this HitCase into the ocean in a few months, so I do need this case to be in pristine condition, or else I lose my iPhone, and, well, that's just $1,000 I'm just going to piss away then. Well, I'm not going to piss away. In terms of water protection, I haven't taken up to 33 feet, but I'm going to try in a few months. I have done a water test in my sink for the HitCase Pro. The HitCase Pro, as you saw, sat on the hood of my car while it was raining, and I did leave it outside for about an hour during a downpour, and I tried to capture a time-lapse video, which was incredibly boring to watch. During the rain test, I did notice condensation on the inside of the shell around the buttons, and I was worried about this, but it turns out to be nothing because the condensation was showing up between the waterproof liner and the shell. The HitCase allows you to access everything you kind of need in the case, except for the mute switch, which may be a big deal for some. It doesn't really bother me since I don't really need to hear my phone, and I run most of my notifications through a watch. Now, being able to access most of your iPhone is actually pretty good for an action case like the HitCase, because there are some other products like the one by X-Armor, which basically lets you just touch the screen and nothing else. The cutout for the lightning port fits only Apple-sized lightning connectors. The headphone jack is a little larger than average, and there isn't a threaded, waterproof headphone extension like you would find on a LifeProof case. I do have to note that the camera flash is also completely covered up. Now, in terms of sound, the HitCase Pro isn't great. Sound coming from the bottom is quite muted, actually. Sound coming from the earpiece speaker isn't too bad, and quality, like all waterproof cases, makes you kind of sound like you're in a box. Screen functionality isn't great though. The screen protector is large enough for you to access any part of the iPhone's touchscreen. I did find a small gap in one corner of my iPhone, though I'm not sure if it's because of the case or if my iPhone is slightly bent. Viewability of the screen is a little better than other screen protectors as there isn't any additional glare, but you'll encounter some minor rainbowing at first, and it does disappear over time, and the screen protector tends to get scratched up a lot. The camera portion of the case, as I mentioned earlier, is awesome. I have the extra wide angle lens, and it definitely widens the field of view of your camera. The lens, as I said earlier, is removable, and you can get different lenses to suit whatever you're doing or whatever you're planning on filming. The rail slide that allows you to mount everything has been updated, so it kind of centers in on the iPhone 6. It kind of was off to the side for the iPhone 5, so it was really difficult to level it, and any sort of bump would actually result in the iPhone kind of tipping a little bit. The rail slide mounts on the 5 do work on the 6, but they're incredibly tough to take off. I personally wouldn't recommend swapping those two out. So that's the case review portion. It does, again, a little lower, but being able to put my iPhone and be able to mount it on the side of my car is something I can't do with an Android phone. Android phones change sizes constantly, so many accessory manufacturers aren't going to take the time to make their cases IP68 certified for something that's going to change shape in less than a year. With the iPhone 6s or the iPhone 5s and the 4s, they stay the same shape for at least 2 years at a time. So, manufacturers have a better chance of making things awesome. Now, being able to turn your iPhone into an action camera is pretty awesome. The other alternative is to pony up another $500-600 to buy a GoPro Hero 4. That's a lot of money. You buy a HitCase. The HitCase is about $100. You start buying some accessories, and you've got basically everything that you need to do, or everything that you can do with a GoPro with your HitCase in general. Now, the HitCase, you won't be able to go as deep in the water. I don't think it's a lot bigger, right? So being able to mount it in smaller places will be a little more difficult, but it'll get you 80% there. So for all the footage that I've captured in this video and the previous video where I released a week earlier, I used a combination of GoPro and Joby mounts. For the car footage, I primarily used the GoPro car mount and the HitCase, though some of the footage that I didn't load into the video was done with the car mount with a Joby extension arm. The footage at my sister's wedding was done using one of Joby's clamps and an adjustable arm. I basically just hung it right in the middle of the aisle and really hoped that nobody ran into it. For the Monty bike riding video, I had to mount the HitCase on one of their short extending poles. I do have to say that trying to ride a bike with a dog in your lap while holding a camera is pretty tough. The bike footage was also accomplished using one of HitCase's Chesters, which in my opinion is better than GoPro's version because it's way more comfortable. That's probably why I'm so excited about this case, is that you can do all these awesome things with it. So that's really all I got now. I'm a little tired of talking. Find me on Google+, Twitter. You got any questions, ask me. If you're interested in getting this case, you can get it through my website. I'm Aaron the Ho, and did you find Monty in this video? So at the end of my street, there's a giant metal gate, and back in the day, like 100 years ago, there was a big main artery, like the Trans-Canada Highway goes close by my house, and so every single one of these side streets led into the Trans-Canada Highway. But now that, I don't know, years ago, the citizens in this community complained, and so they barred off all the access points to the highway, but there's still idiots who just barrel down this road. It's a residential area, and they're just trying to get to that thing. If you look at their maps, Google Maps doesn't tell you that it's got a big metal gate to it. They just barrel down, and then they do this U-turn, and then barrel down that way again, and it's annoying because this guy just drove by in his really old Civic, and it's loud. There's a hole in his muffler.